A warm welcome to everyone joining us here at the beautiful Autodrom Most, and it is almost time to go racing for TCR Eastern Europe here in Most. It is a very dark and gloomy day here in the Czech Republic. It has rained throughout this Saturday, but we are getting ready to kick start the third round of the season of the 5 scheduled. It is the halfway stage of the 2026 season, and the fight for the championship couldn't be closer between Martin Kadlečík and Adam Kout for the 2026 title. I am Daniel Espadia, will be the commentator for this weekend as we get ready to jump straight into the action here on the starting grid. And we have the 2 championship contenders on the front row, Adam Kout on the left hand side of the starting grid on pole position, and Martin Kadlečík in second place. The two have been going at it this season. It has been a phenomenal show to witness as the two of them have fought tooth and nail throughout this year. And here are our 6 drivers, 5 of them from the Czech Republic, as it's their home race. Only one is out of those borders, and that is Žarko Knego starting from 4th position, the Croatian driver who has already finished on the podium this season earlier this year. He will be looking to repeat that today, starting from 4th. We're just a few minutes out from the start of the formation lap. And here we are with now what is the second row of the starting grid. Jiří Zbožínek in 3rd and Žarko Knego, as we talked about earlier, in 4th. It has been a very interesting season so far. As we said, Martin Kadlečík currently leads the championship, 107 points to his name ahead of this weekend. Second place for Adam Kout, 92 points to his name. Unfortunately for him, a retirement in the opening race of the season in Grobnik made it so that he had to trail from the very beginning of this season, which is why Kadlečík has that small advantage of 15 points. The Kout was simply impeccable in qualifying earlier today. Pole by 0.6 of a second over his rival, and then 0.8 over his teammate Jiří Zbožínek. Janík Motorsport having the luck to be racing with 2 cars, as the 2 Hyundai Elantras will be ready to fight for the win. A win that has been tasted already by Adam Kout and Martin Kadlečík alike this season. The only 2 drivers capable of taking victories so far. Kadlečík took 3 against Kout's 2 winning marks left on the season so far. And that is, of course, what Kout will try and change today, given how important it is that Kout takes the victory for the championship. It is very important for him to close the gap in the championship. We will see whether or not this is the chance that he has to get closer to Martin Kadlečík in the standings, as we now start the formation lap here in Most. The 6 cars slowly getting up to speed in the hopes of figuring out what they can do. We also have a brand new addition in the Cupra number 14 this weekend of Petr Čížek. This is his home race. He has grown close to this circuit and has been very quick throughout his career in TCR Racing. This track, of course, being one of the best of the Czech Republic for what can be only taken into account as one of the best circuits in Eastern Europe for TCR related racing. We saw how brilliant it was, given how important it was as well for plenty of the drivers to understand how difficult it would be to also figure out a way to navigate this circuit now that the track is slightly damp. It is, of course, quite difficult to predict who's going to come out on top, especially now that we have this situation in hand. The two championship contenders looking to become once more entangled between one another. As they move to get to the starting grid, it will be Adam Kout in the lead. And that is, of course, exactly what he wanted after qualifying. You have to wonder, however, how important this start of the race will be, especially for Adam Kout and Martin Kadlečík, the two championship rivals, ready to go side by side as the lights go out, and we are underway for race number one. A huge start for Petr Žižek in the background, already up into fourth position, but now it's Jiří Zbožínek trying to make himself noticeable on the outside of Martin Kadlečík. Huge braking zones for this race as Adam Kout still leads. That was a very good getaway for Adam Kout in the lead of the standings. He has definitely been the highlight of this weekend for him, going strong and for sure becoming one of the best and most menacing drivers for now. We'll see whether or not he can actually take the lead and stay in the lead, as he is doing right about now. We'll see now whether or not he is able to maintain this level, as of course now Martin Kadlečík is very close to the back of him. He's gonna have to figure out whether or not he can attack Kout. He is very close now. Coming towards the first couple of corners. Also, Zbožínek is very close nearby, now trying his absolute best to stay close to the top two. Meanwhile, however, it is Adam Kout still in the lead. With Martin Kadlečík in second. He is very close by, however, and is still in the fight for the lead of the race. Now it goes slightly wide on the exit of the corner. However, he is still pretty much into it with now 22 minutes left on the clock. Kadlečík has been very impressive this year so far, of course, being one of the best drivers, in fact the best driver for sure, being now in the lead of the championship. As you can see now, working hard to cut the lead from Adam Kout. As now you can see, he is very close to the back of his rival, and the championship rival nonetheless. Navigating the first couple of corners beautifully. As you can see now with the drone, the beautiful and different, might I add, corners of the circuit. It's of course very nice to see a track that has been always loved by the fans and the drivers alike being now thrusted to a new level of popularity. We've seen plenty of people in the grandstands today, despite the heavy rain that came down earlier today. And here you can see the Hyundai Elantra of Janík Motorsport, the leading car of Adam Kout. The team, of course, has the opportunity to fight a 2v1 chance here with Kout and Zbožínek against Martin Kadlečík. You can see the tires, hear the tires screeching away in the very final couple of corners, as Kadlečík is still quite close to the back of Adam Kout. I'm not sure whether this will be enough for an attack. No, we won't. Not now, at least. We'll see whether or not this lap will hold better fortune for the drivers. Slight lockup for Adam Kout as well, which is never easy to deal with, especially in the latter stages of this race, when it will be quite tough for him to figure out what to do, especially in defensive moves compared to his rival. Meanwhile, the two have kind of streaked away from Jiří Zbožínek. Therefore, it looks to be a two-way fight for this race win today. Though, of course, it may be quite early to say it, but Martin Kadlečík has been very quick this weekend. Not as quick as Adam Kout, of course. The Czech driver from Janík Motorsport has taken pole by a little over 6/10 earlier today, though in quite different conditions. Though the track is now pretty much dry, it has to be said. There's no rain falling. It hasn't fallen for at least a couple of hours now, and the track has become less and less wet as time went on, which of course is only a good thing for our drivers, who can find themselves more and more comfortable of racing in these conditions. You can see how close Kadlečík is to Adam Kout, especially in these twisty sections. Which is why it is very, very important for Adam Kout to get the best exits every single time, not to miss out on anything. Which is always a dangerous road to go down. So far, however, it's been all good for Adam Kout, as he has defended flawlessly against Martin Kadlečík. Kadlečík, on the other hand, is still on the attack, looking to maybe make a move in one of the next few laps, though of course it will be very, very difficult to do it, as it is quite difficult to overtake around here. But maybe now the chance arises and presents itself for Kadlečík with a great exit out of turn 2. The two go side by side towards turn number 5, and it is finally Martin Kadlečík going through. It was a great switchback into the opening couple of corners, with a slight mistake from Adam Kout locking up in turn number 1, and then Kadlečík going for the over and under and taking the race lead just by the hands of a slight mistake from Adam Kout, which is unfortunate, of course, but at the same time it is what happens in the world of motorsport. So through goes Martin Kadlečík. He is now in the lead of the race. Now he just has to defend and has to keep said lead until the very end of the race. You can see, however, Adam Kout being dangerously close to his rival. He does not want to let go. He doesn't want to miss out on the win. This could potentially be a pivotal moment in the championship. Especially should Martin Kadlečík win this one, he would increase his lead by quite a bit and almost break the 20-point mark. We will see whether or not that actually happens. But that could be a pivotal moment in this race. You can also see how Kadlečík goes quite wide on that corner every single time. It almost looks like it has and feels the need of extending towards the fair right of the screen and fair left of the track, just to carry a bit more speed, and that is what always works for them. As we can now see car 301 looking quite good, especially in the last couple of corners. Now slightly opening the gap over Adam Kout. Behind them it's Zbožínek still in third. Here he is with around a 3.5 second gap over Petr Čížek in fourth position. The fight for the podium seems to have stopped as of right now, though of course there's still 30 minutes left on the clock. Anything can happen, and with points, big points on the line, a single mistake could prove to be fatal for some of these drivers. Meanwhile, we also see Radim Adamek, the other Aditis Racing entry, Martin Kadlečík's teammate, though of course he cannot currently fight against the top 3. As you can now see, the cars fight and wrestle towards turn number 1 and 2, with Adamek deep into the race, currently in 6th position. As you can now see, the top 2 still fighting away at that first place. Kout again losing a bit of ground time and time again, and unfortunately that is not what Kout wanted, especially given how good Kadlečík has been this season. Winning this one would have been incredibly important. However, it doesn't look like that will be the case today. Kadlečík just seems to have slightly more pace than his rival. You can now see Zbožínek still holding on to 3rd. He has been very consistent today, though of course not having the pace to fight for the lead or even 2nd position, which is a shame, of course, given how good he was throughout the opening couple of laps in this race. With now just a little over 10 minutes on the clock, Martin Kadlečík and Adam Kout still in 1st and 2nd. The gap now 1.4 seconds opening up between the two of them. It looks like Kadlečík might just have the upper hand here. Though of course, still 10 minutes, anything can happen. We've seen it time and time again in the world of motorsport and in TCR Eastern Europe as well. Things can change from one moment to another. And of course, Kadlečík has to stay very concentrated. Meanwhile, who knows, maybe we will find out soon whether or not Petr Cížek and Žarko Knego will engage into a battle. The two of them separated by a little over 2 seconds. Knego closing in a tad bit. The Croatian wanting to spoil the Czechs party, as the home crowd watches on their drivers nearing a 1-2-3 finish in this race, though naturally Knego will try to change that, as the Croatian driver is currently in 4th position, wanting to find that podium once more. And as we now move closer to the end of the race, it looks like he is the only one who can attack that podium, though he is quite far away from it. He would have to pass Petr Cížek first and then Jiří Zbožínek second, which is quite difficult, especially given the gap between 3rd and 5th, as Knego trails the podium places by a little over 8 seconds. The top 2 so far unmatched, but I have to say even Kadlečík himself has been unmatched in this 2nd stint of the race. He has been so good this season, so consistent, so quick, and just capable of turning things around supremely well, which is what has truly changed from last year to this season, as Kadlečík has now become a full-on championship contender, if not the prime favorite to win the title. He has been very, very good so far this year, taking 3 wins. And then fighting for what would be his 4th now. And given how important this will be, a little less than 7 minutes left on the clock. Martin Kadlečík still in the lead. Though naturally, Adam Kout still hot on his tail. Waiting for the best moment to attack, though it does look like he is not currently able to match his rival. Now a little less than 6 minutes left. You can just see how the gap has opened quite a bit now. It's now 3.4 seconds between the two of them. It was almost 1.5 seconds a couple of laps ago. Which means that it really has been a performance from Martin Kadlečík. So far so good though for him. He has been superb, honestly, this season. He has been very fast from start to finish. As I said before, 3 wins so far. He's about to make it 4. Should everything go according to plan. He's looking very strong indeed. Behind him, Adam Kout will be maybe satisfied with 2nd position, but definitely not happy to his greatest extent, as he was looking to fight for the win, and he was in the lead in the first half of the race before he got outsmarted by the championship leader, showing up once more and figuring out who the best really is this season. You can see how there's still a couple of wet patches on the track, though the line is pretty much dry now, which has changed quite a bit how the drivers approach this race and this weekend. Let's not forget, we will have one more race in TCR Eastern Europe this weekend. And that will take place tomorrow on Sunday at 11:35 a.m. local time. That is, of course, the final important meeting of this round for TCR Eastern Europe, a series that has had plenty of fun in Grobnik and at the Salzburgring earlier this year, and it will face 2 other great tracks to finish the season. First off, it will be at the Slovakia Ring from the 21st to the 23rd of August. In fact, we will not have a full-on summer break. We had it up until now, but we will be back on track in the middle of August. And then in October, from the 23rd to the 25th, the season finale at the Hungaroring, a brand new experience for the Eastern Europe Championships, as the Hungaroring in Budapest will host the season finale of the championship, crowning who will be the 2026 TCR Eastern Europe champion. A little less than 2 minutes on the clock, so next lap will likely be the final one of this race between Martin Kadlečík and Adam Kout. The gap is now 4.2 seconds. Petr Cížek has also built a bit of a gap over Žarko Knego. The two of them staying in 4th and 5th position respectively, as now Kadlečík starts what should be the final lap of the race. He has been untouchable since the overtake on Adam Kout. Who knows, without that slight mistake from Kout, if Kadlečík would have been able to overtake him, but that is in the past now, and we will honestly never know, as one should, given how important this weekend has been for the championship. Martin Kadlečík finding his way through in very important fashion. Also because, just looking at the situation in the championship, a 15-point gap is quite big. Meanwhile, we have Jiří Zbožínek coming into the pit lane, and that is very unfortunate for him, because with just one lap to go, he looks to have surrendered the chance to fight for the podium. He was comfortably in 3rd place, and that is such a shame for him, as Janík Motorsport sees one of its cars falter and drop down to what will be 6th place by the end of the race likely, and this promotes Petr Cížek on the podium, the hometown hero, having grew up just a few kilometers away from here. But the attention now once again will turn to Martin Kadlečík as he rounds out the final corner, and for the 4th time this year he will take the Czech flag first. It's a win for Martin Kadlečík, just in front of Adam Kout, and once again it's advantage Kadlečík in the championship. Takes the win, and he goes now 15 points clear of his rival. 3rd is Petr Cížek, a phenomenal job for him, of course using a bit of luck as well to gain that podium place after an issue hit Zbožínek right at the end of the race, preventing him from stepping on what would have been a much deserved podium. But in the end, no one could stop Martin Kadlečík. He is the winner of this opening race of the weekend, picking up right where he left off. A phenomenal performance from him. It was Adam Kout who had the upper hand in qualifying, but as we all know, it's the racing that counts. It's very unfortunate for Kout, given that he has led the first part of this race and was supposed to fight for the win, and he still put up a great fight in the first half and some things more, but at the end of the day it was nothing that he could do against Martin Kadlečík. Here are the final results. Kadlečík takes the win ahead of Adam Kout and Petr Cížek, bringing 3 different cars, Audi, Hyundai and Cupra, on the podium. Žarko Knego was in 4th, Jiří Zbožínek was able to finish 5th, and Radim Adamek with the other Audi from Aditis Racing closing out the standings in 6th position. But that is everything from race 1 of TCR Eastern Europe here in Most. The next race of the championship will be tomorrow at 11:35 a.m. for race number 2. Thank you for being with us, and I'll see you guys next time.